What's going on, guys? Texas Platinum is back with another special video this week. So about a year ago, we did a top 10 college football uniforms video that was pretty well received on our channel. And with summer now upon us, the off season is here. Not a lot of things to talk about, so we're going to follow it up with a top 10 college football helmets video. If you're new here, please subscribe, drop us a like. We're an ever-growing channel. We got some big plans in the future, so doing so will help us a lot. Also, we love seeing y'all's comments below, so please drop your top 10 helmets as well. Let us know why we're wrong. Let us know why we're right. Let's make this a really interactive video. We'd love to see that. So with that all said, we're going to get started. We're ranking from 10 to 1, and we're all going to go kind of one at a time, a little bit different than we did our last video. Just to kind of speed up the process. So how about Myers? You lead us off.
All right. Yeah. So we'll start off at number 10 and then work down to number 1 eventually. But first up, I have Penn State because I'm a sucker for classic uniforms. You know, you watch them and then you feel like you're watching a game back in the early 1900s. So Penn State, just a simple white with the blue stripe. It's a classic look that I love. And I had Penn State as my favorite uniform in college football on our uniform video, so Penn State is in the top 10 for me at number 10. Number 9, I have the Colorado Buffaloes, which they're not your typical big helmet, big brand you think of, but I love their logo. I love the gold helmet, and it just reminds me of Joel Klatt, who I'm a big fan of Joel Klatt. So at number 9, I have Colorado. Number 8, I have the Florida Gators. I mean, Florida could arguably be in the top 5, in my opinion. They have the script Gators, which is just, it's kind of like a country club feel. I don't know. Like it fits the state of Florida very well. And it's very rare. Most teams don't have their mascot name scripted out in their helmets. So I think it's a good look, whatever color, it looks good. Yeah. And then next up, I have at number 7, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Golden Domers. We saw them come to Austin and play in DKR back 5 years ago in 2016, and the hype was real. I will say those helmets are very shiny in person, and they are very striking for opposing teams. I was very impressed by those helmets. So, yes. All right. Next up, I have West Virginia at number 6, the Flying WV. Yeah, this is a last-second audible. I started thinking about it. West Virginia has, I think, a top 5 logo in college football. And this is more a tribute to their logo and specifically their yellow helmets with the blue WV. I think that's a really clean, intimidating look. I think they wore them against Tennessee, was it? A couple years back, and it looked really good. I forget who they wore them against, but those are probably my favorite helmets in the Big 12 outside of Texas. But yeah, so West Virginia comes in at number 6. At number 5, I have the USC Trojans, who, I mean, that's just classic, the look of Troy. Just you think of Reggie Bush, all the greats, and it's just like a cool looking helmet. It has the classic factor, and it just looks kind of intimidating as well. So I think it's a good balance there. I think it fits the LA USC brand very nicely. At number 4, it's kind of similar to USC in that regard as LSU. LSU, their helmets for some reason, their uniforms in general just remind me of Tigers. So I think the branding's on point there, and I like how they kept the throwback logo on their helmet, kind of like our high school. We have like a new logo now, but our high school football helmets, we still wear the old, like the original logo that we used to have. So LSU kind of does that as well, and I think that's a really cool thing. And like you can go and look at an LSU player in the 1970s, and they have the same exact helmets. I'm pretty sure, maybe the 80s, but either way, they've worn them a long time and they look really good. At number 3, I have Texas. I mean, the most iconic logo in college football, maybe in sports in my biased opinion, but just the simple white with a Longhorn logo. It's constant, no alternates. Texas has a great logo, and it just the simplicity of it, and you know it when you see it. Whenever you see that helmet on the field, you know who's playing. So I love clean, classic logos, classic helmets, and Texas definitely has that. Okay, and then those are the top 8 of my top 10 right there. But my top 2, imagine a big gap between the rest, because Ohio State and Michigan are on a tier of their own when it comes to helmets, in my opinion. And at 2, I have the Ohio State Buckeyes. Just the silver helmet's always a good look, shiny silver. and then you put all the Buckeyes on there and they like sparkle. Looks very clean, very classic, very college football.
Absolutely.
I mean, those are the type of things, in my opinion, like Ohio State's helmets, Michigan helmets, that separate college football from the NFL. Just the branding's a little bit more strong in that department. So yeah, Ohio State. I just think of Chase Young, like at the end of the season when he had all those Buckeyes on his helmet. It looked really good. But at the beginning of the season, it looks kind of bad when it's just like a blank silver helmet. So later in the season,
bad. It still looks good. Not as good though. I will say that.
The Buckeye definitely makes it though.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, Buckeyes helmets at the end of the season is top notch. And at number 1, I'm sorry, Ohio State, but Michigan beats you finally. They have the best helmet in college football. I mean, I think Michigan's helmet is just kind of emblematic of American football, and in a way, because it just looks very intimidating, and it's just the history of it. It's very unique. I mean, honestly, like if someone wore that helmet for the first time tomorrow and we'd never seen it before in the history of football, everybody would be like, what the heck is that? And the fact that it's been around for so long and it's so iconic now, even though it's still really unique, is a cool deal to me. I mean, they started adding, like, I don't know, those emblems on the back of their helmets whenever they make a good play or something, kind of like Ohio State does when they stack them up. And I don't know about all that, but just the original Michigan helmet, it looks like an actual Wolverine, or how I'd imagine Wolverine would look. It looks very, very, very clean. I mean, I think it's clear that Michigan has the best helmet in college football, and I'll go to my grave saying that. So yeah, those are my top 10, and I hope some of y'all agree with me. And yeah, tell me if I'm wrong.
How about you, Madrid?
Well, I took a little bit of a different approach to this list. Obviously, the Michigans, the Texas, the Ohio States, the USCs, those are iconic, right? Those are probably going to be the best helmets of all time. They beat any type of NFL helmet by a country mile. It's not even close. The history with them is unmatched. So what I took in my list is mostly the helmets that I've been enjoying a lot more lately, as I've been watching a lot more college football, especially when I started going to college. So at number 10, I also have the same as Matt, is Penn State. The simplicity of the blue and navy is like really, really, like, it shouldn't, something so simple shouldn't work that well. And it's all, and I kind of attribute to kind of like Texas minus having a logo. Like they will have a white helmet with just the blue face mask, and it's just that's all you need. And like you would think it's unrecognizable, but you know who it is immediately. At number 9, I have SMU, and I'm pretty sure I had these guys in my uniform once too.
You
but
did.
I just really love that red, white, and blue. And then when you have it's specifically that helmet that has Dallas on it, or yeah, with the D and everything, like it's so nice. It looks futuristic and modern with the red face mask. Can't go wrong with it. I hope they keep that one for a long time. That one in particular. And then 8. This one I had, it kind of grew on me a little bit more, and that's Wyoming. And it's because I don't the color brown shouldn't fit on like a uniform. Like
I converted you.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's like it's the color poop, but you know what? It works, and it works with that yellow, and then you have a cowboy on the helmet, like riding the horse. Like that's perfect. It's really cool and unique, especially for a program that Wyoming that's trying to stand out when it's so isolated like that. It's a really good look. I like that. So that's number 8. And number 7, I fell in love with these recently too, and that's Arizona State. And it's mainly just for that yellow helmet with the trident on it. That's just really cool to me. It just looks like it's assaulting forward. So like they're throwing the trident at you or whatever. That's really cool to me. This one at number 6, I thought about giving Aggie some love, but then I was like, nah, that's not cool. So I switched them out with Minnesota. And I think they do gold, those gold helmets with the M on it. It's not necessarily like your average gold. It's like a Notre Dame gold, but it's still like it's more like a bronze gold. But I don't know. I think it works really well, and especially when they were doing really hot 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, it was really cool to see on TV. And then getting into my 5 that I liked like recently too. Stanford, you can't go wrong with those trees, man. I just the way they integrate the tree inside the S. I mean, give that guy a raise. Like, he just knows what he's doing with his logos. It's recognizable. It's a tree. Come on. And then number 4, you got North Carolina. Okay. I think baby blue is popular now. Okay, like you look at the Chargers. Everyone loves their baby blues. Granted, in Miami is like aqua blue, but you know what I mean. It's still got some powder in it. But yeah, especially the helmet. The helmet that's all white, and I think it's just a regular helmet. It's all white. Got the NC, big old NC, and then the plaid pinstripe around the helmet. I think that's perfect. It adds a little bit of that country club vibe. You know, we're out here. It's a business trip. We're looking real nice and spiffy to play some football. So yeah, that's number 4, North Carolina. And number 3. Okay, this is where it starts probably getting a little hot takey. I have Pitt. Okay, hear me out.
No, that's good.
I know
it's a great helmet.
It's I don't even know if they wear these full time or not. It's the old school one with the yellow and the blue.
They converted back to them.
Yeah, those. The main reason is because I think cursive on helmets is a little gross because sometimes it's just like a big cursive word on the helmet, like or like just like having just the name of the school or whatever, like words on the helmet. I think it's kind of iffy sometimes, but the fact that it's like an abbreviation and it just says Pitt and it's like real concise Pitt, it's like really nice. And I don't know, they really stand out on TV. You always know who they're playing without who's playing without even looking at the score or anything. But yeah, I think those are really, really underrated. And I hope they keep those for a long time. Okay, on to the top 2, right? Okay, 2, South Carolina. Now hear me out. Okay. They're traditional. It's literally just their traditional helmet, and it's really because of the logo. Okay, have you ever like paid attention, like looked at the really paid attention? Like it's a gamecock. It's a raptor. Like it's literally like attacking like a football or something, man. Like I don't know. I think that's a really cool, addition to their helmets. I mean, I don't like putting a full-on mascot on your helmet. I mean, LSU does it all right sometimes, and I guess Arkansas does too. I mean, sure there's others too, but I don't know. I never really liked that. I always liked like a logo. But they do, I don't know. I just think the Gamecock is really cool, and it's like a raptor, and embedded in that maroon and black, I think works perfectly. Okay, now number one, honestly, if we were doing like iconic, I think I'd put it up there still, but it's Washington. Okay. I think they do.
Wow.
I think they do gold helmets like the right way, because look, Notre Dame has great gold helmets, like yeah, because they're the shiniest in the land, right? Whatever. But like Washington makes gold helmets look like they're royal, and they add like the hints of purple around it, and you have the big W, bro, and it's just like W, and it coincides with like the colors also coincide with like the culture they've cultivated, the winning years they've had in the past, so it just looks like they're the kings of the Northwest or something, man. Like they look really, really regal and like poppy. Like the gold pops without being over or like everything about it. And then the purple, this is a perfect accent. But yeah, Washington number 1 for me. I always enjoy watching a Washington game, specifically because of those helmets. But yeah, that's my top 10.
Nice. Definitely some surprises in there. We'll have to touch back up on that after I give mine real quick. All right. So my top 10. So last time we did a college uniform ranking video, we failed to mention the football team with probably that's the most well known for their uniforms, and that's the Oregon Ducks. The internet threw a fit about that, and I'm not making that mistake again. So at 10, I got Oregon's helmets, specifically their yellow ones with the wings on the side and the O on the back. Whatever color yellow that is, it really pops and looks really good. The wings are just completely synonymous with the school. You know that's who it is. You don't need to write Oregon or even have their logo on it in the first place. When you see the wings, you know what it is, and it's just really flashy. It almost looks like a sports car that you're wearing on your head, but in like a cool way. Number 9, I got the Ole Miss powder blue helmets. I'm shocked that y'all didn't put this on your list because I think a lot of people like these. Just a very clean red, white, and blue look, gray face mask, red stripe down the middle. You got that Ole Miss logo. I've never been a big fan of their like dark blue look that they, I guess, traditionally have worn, or at least have worn over the years. But when they switched back to that, powder blue look, that's just such a great color in the first place. But that coupled with the red, white, and blue and the silver accent like that's just such a clean look altogether. So a great helmet, definitely. Number 8, I got North Carolina, but it's a little bit different than yours, Madrid. I'm going with their throwback helmets. This year, they rolled out with the throwback uniform that they wore, like, I think once during the regular season and then also in the Orange Bowl against A&M. And those unis are fire, but like, for me, I like the more simple down helmet look. Like the helmet that they normally wear, like has that pattern, like you said, Madrid. Which is cool. And I don't blame anyone for preferring those, but to me, like just having the clean stripe really makes that logo pop even more. And also it features that darker blue color that contrasts really well with that like Carolina blue or baby blue, whatever it is. And I just love their logo too. That NC just looks really good. Definitely, I think an underrated logo in college football. Number 7, I got Alabama. I'm surprised y'all didn't put neither of y'all put that. Just a classic helmet. Great color. Is it crimson? I know that's OU's color. I know they're basically the same.
Share it.
Yeah, but that coupled with the gray face mask, the plain white stripe down the middle, and then the numbers. I mean, that's like, it's definitely a traditional look that they've had since probably the 60s or something. That just hasn't changed. I feel like most teams back in the day when helmets became a thing, like in the 50s, had the numbers on the side, and Alabama just stuck with it. And while everyone else converted to like logos and stuff. And I don't know, there's something really cool about that to me, where the number is the focal point. Which is something that you just don't see a lot of. And I feel like other teams would be scared to put numbers on their helmets because they'd fear like, oh, we're copying Alabama. So they've made it their brand, which I think is really cool. Number 6, I got Texas, of course. Plain white helmet, looks good. You got that Longhorn emblem that's just so iconic, so synonymous with the state and the team. But specifically their throwback helmets. Y'all, everyone knows how we feel on this channel about that darker Longhorn emblem, the classic look versus what we have now with that slightly lighter burnt orange look. The darker one just looks more menacing, more classic, adds some contrast to the whole uniform instead of, like a synonymous burnt orange look. Hopefully we're going back to that at some point, but for now we're rolling with the lighter burnt orange one, which is okay. Like, it's not a bad helmet by any means, but that darker one for me is like, it's perfect. It's so much better. So hopefully we see more of that. Number 5, I got Florida Gators, just like Myers said, just a great look. Love the cursive Gators thing. It's so random when you think about it. Like, why do you write the name of your mascot in cursive on your helmet, and for the Gators make it orange and blue? Like, all of it, it's confusing, but it's also so beautiful. And I have some family that went to the University of Florida, and growing up, my dad actually he still has a Gators helmet sitting in his office. So when you're growing up and you see like something constantly, it draws you to it. So I've always loved not just the Gators uniforms as in general, but their helmets. I've always been really drawn to on a, personally. Number 4, I got LSU, another just classic look. real blocky. I love the Tiger logo. I love that it says just LSU on it. The whole design of the helmet is like very, I don't know. Like I haven't seen other helmets that look remotely like that in terms of like lettering plus small logo plus stripe on the helmet, and the colors too. Purple and yellow just really go together super well. So just a super iconic, modern but traditional helmet, just fantastic. Number 3, this one I don't think enough people know about, and they should. The Texas Tech throwback, their white throwback uniform with the old school Texas Tech logo, and they got my favorite part about this helmet is they got these like star stickers, and they only do like 3, and they do them like kind of in the corners. It's just a great look. I mean, it's so old school yet funky and traditional. It's just such a cool, like I think it's a 70s throwback helmet. It just looks so good. I mean, also a shout out to the helmets that they wore against us last season when we came to town. Those black ones with the red face mask, those look clean as hell too. I mean, honestly, Texas Tech, if they were, smarter, I think they'd realize that, hey, your throwbacks are unbelievably amazing. Just stick with those and stop messing with this other look that you're doing on a more regular basis. Maybe if they had more clout, traditionally they'd stick with their throwbacks, but God, that helmet, I almost have it. I almost have a number 1. I didn't though, because I'm much like Myers in the top 2 helmet space, but God, that helmet is awesome in my opinion. And then my top 2, like I said, just like Myers, I got Michigan and Ohio State in that order, with Ohio State 2, Michigan number 1. Yep, they're in a tier of their own. Ohio State
really
looks great. I love one thing that Myers didn't say, but I think you said it in our last uniform ranking. Madrid was just that gray on gray, with the face mask plus the helmet. It just looks so strong, like steel. Of course, the stickers are so iconic. Just such a clean look. It's so. I almost think of it like it almost looks like a knight in shining armor type of look. Just so clean, yet strong at the same time. And then the Michigan helmets, so iconic. I've seen pictures of like them in leatherhead helmets with that same design that they've literally just carried over. So I mean, kind of like Alabama with the numbers, but this is like something totally different. Just such a unique look, so timeless. They're never going to change it. They never should. Probably the most iconic helmet in college sports, maybe outside of the Notre Dame helmet, which I don't have in my top 10, but just great. Nothing to complain about. So yeah, that's everyone's top 10. We're going to talk for a few more minutes to deliberate.
I just want to say that all this talk, I mean, I'm excited to sit on my couch this week. I wish it was this week. In this fall, like, man, like just seeing some of those helmets, they just pop on TV, man. That's so nice.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious about why y'all didn't put the Ole Miss helmet. Like, I feel like so many people rave about that powder blue helmet.
Yeah, I try to avoid like alternates, but they do wear them very often. It's kind of like becoming their identity now. They used to never wear them, it seemed like. But I mean, they are a great look. Honestly, they probably are better than Colorado's helmets, in my opinion. But I just wanted to, go more classic helmets that teams wear every week for the most part.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of what like veered me away. But I recognize those are some clean like helmets. The whole uniform for Ole Miss with the baby blue, the powder blue involved is just, it's a great look.
Yeah, definitely. Madrid, what were some of the ones that you put down that were unusual? I mean, Pitt's a good dark horse.
Yeah, the ones I thought that were pretty out there for me were like Wyoming and probably South Carolina being my number 2. But I think it goes to like show, like, I don't know. Is a difference? Is there a difference? I mean, I agree that the top two helmets in the like look wise in the in college football, it's just Michigan and Ohio State. Those are just like, I don't think you're ever get better than that. But for the rest of the list, I don't know. Is there a difference between like iconic and like what looks good? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think Alabama is iconic, but I think there's other helmets that just look better. And I mean that's just me. That's just me. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you're forming your list. I was just surprised by Wyoming's like boldness with that brown and yellow. Like it shouldn't work. In the same way that like you were saying, Trevor, like Florida, like orange and blue, that shouldn't work. Like that really shouldn't work that well. Especially just like and then writing just Gators on it. Like it shouldn't work, but it's so eye-catching and it's so like different that it does work. So yeah, I think that's the how I viewed my list, especially that Wyoming pick.
Yeah. Myers, you got any other final points that you want to discuss?
Yeah, I think a lot of the reason that Ohio State Michigan is just like always claimed as the greatest rivalry in football is because the uniforms together on the field just look like it's like a movie. So you take those uniforms away from them, and I think OU Texas got them beat, honestly, and Iron Bowl as well. But those uniforms just make it like a Hollywood spectacle that you can't get enough of. Even if they're just like trash, both teams are trash that year. It's still just like you just want to see those two uniforms going at it in the big house or in the horseshoe. So yeah, it's definitely you got to watch that game every year. Like partly, I mean, the rivalry is great, but the uniforms really make it pop for me, at least, a Texas fan.
No, yeah, I completely agree. On that similar note, I know none of us said the UCLA helmet, which is okay, but I think their full uniform's great. But like USC, UCLA, like that is a great game. If you just want to be entertained with your eyes in terms of the visuals, like that is a great game. Not that UCLA is really a power like USC is, but I mean,
like the contrast in those uniforms and helmets. Like UCLA, like blue and USC the red, like it's perfect.
Absolutely,
a good red versus blue going on.
Yeah. And I want to end it on this last point. What do y'all think about the Texas Tech throwbacks? Again, I feel like no one ever talks about them.
It's better. I agree with you. Those the stars just I don't know. And also I don't know if the red's different. I might be reaching there, but I don't know. It's more it just I don't know. Maybe it's because they use a white helmet in the throwbacks more.
Do you like the black one better?
No, I like the white us? I like the white one better. If you're gonna do the throwback, I like the white one with the red stars on it. Like, yeah, when you were mentioning it, like I opened a tab and reminded myself what they look like, and it just I don't know, they just look more. I don't know, they just look cooler than what they have right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Myers.
Yeah, I mean Texas Tech, whoever's like their PR branding guy, their head guy, he needs to like get fired or something. It's like I looked him up too when you were talking about it, and it just kind of reminded me. It's been a while since I looked at those uniforms, just the whole uniform in general. But those throwbacks are so clean. If they want to make a power move and become like a better football program, start with that because that alone will help get recruits to Lubbock because no one really wants to go to Lubbock. But yeah, if they wore those every weekend and those became like their iconic classic look, I think that would give them a major edge in the Big 12, you know, like compared to Baylor, TCU, Oklahoma State. I think just those uniforms could really like help them a lot because I mean, at Texas Tech, it's hard to sell a lot out there besides, you know, I don't know what they sell at Texas Tech, but those uniforms are great and they should definitely wear those full time.
Oh yeah. I mean, it looks like if Texas didn't have the burnt orange, like if Texas had those throwback Texas Tech unis, like I feel like it'd work. Like it worked just fine. If it was like TX instead of TT, like that would be epic. What were you gonna say, Madrid?
No, just to add real quick at the end is just like I'm looking at like the modern Texas Tech, and you know they're not iconic enough to like hold on to. Like,
they're not bad.
They're not bad, but they look so 2004, like straight up. Like they look like they haven't tried to change anything for a long time, thinking like that their brand is or the logo in general is like something that people like recognize, and it's really not. So like I think you should I'm looking at like their modern I mean like in a modern helmet, I mean to say in a Revo Speed or something like that. With the stars and just like the better T, and it's not all like 2 times New Roman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
2004 is a good.
yeah, it looks a little 2004ish. But
analogy.
I think they should really go back.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts, guys? Otherwise, we're gonna wrap this up.
It's good for me.
116 days to college football.
I can't wait.
From when we're filming this. So we're on the countdown, boys. We're on the downhill.
On the downhill. Let us know. Yeah, let us know in the description. Well, not description, in the comments below, what y'all think about our lists. If you agree, if you disagree, and if you have any other fun college football ideas, we're probably going to do more fun videos during this off season for the next few months. So if you got any cool ideas, let us know. We're happy to discuss and suit y'all's interests in that regard. But for all of us here at Texas Platinum, y'all take care. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Look out for new content down the road and help us out. So y'all take care. We're throwing up the horns because we're Longhorn fans. That's why we always end it. But if you're not a fan of UT, sorry.